Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you all are having a wonderful day and a wonderful week. I sure am. I originally was going to make a vlog, but I forgot to turn on my mic, so that's the thing that happened. Instead of that, I will rank the coasters in 2024 of Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. One side note before we begin, Loch Ness Monster doesn't open again until May, but I did ride it in 2017, so my rankings will reflect that ride in 2017. Also, I did not ride the kiddie coaster and so it will not be on this list. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Starting off the video with number 9, we have Tempesto. Might I just say, I do not like this ride in the slightest. The trains are tighter than skyrockets at Kennywood, which is very hard to do. I hit my knee on the side of the train while getting in, and the comfort collars make me feel like I'm Houdini, but putting chains back on instead of trying to take the chains off. The launches were rather forceless, and none of the elements did anything for me. The Heartline roll at the very top of the ride offered no hang time. I was expecting to have some hang time on this element that you are seeing on screen right now. I mean, the non-inverting loop had some whip, but other than that, this ride was very forceless. I don't see a purpose for this in the park's lineup at all, especially whenever you have other multi-launching coasters in Pantheon, Verbolten, and Dar Coaster. Other than this coaster, everything else here was super fun. I just don't know who decided that this would be a good idea. Real quick, sorry for if any of these numbers are clipped off on the top or the sides. The application I'm using to edit is not very good at keeping everything all in one. So, quick apology for that. But, next up, at number 8, we have Dar Coaster. The building was very hot, which for a cold day and rainy day was very, very nice. The theming was great in the queue, although I found the ride was rather forceless and bumpy for a brand new Intamin. This ride did not feel like an Intamin. The on-ride theming was not very existent, and the building was not as dark as I was expecting. This coaster just feels like it's having an identity crisis. It has a family layout with a spooky theme. It is a fun ride, but hit it before the line gets long. You can't justify waiting more than 5 to 10 minutes for this coaster. I did find it fun, but like I said, it's just not the best experience I've had. I struggled to rank and decide between number 7 and number 8, but I am putting Invader at number 7. Invader was a very fun and smooth GCI family coaster. It had fun forces that would be great for families. It is a family coaster after all, and the in-queue theming was cool, but the forces for a GCI were not as intense as I was expecting. Yes, for the third time, it is a family coaster, but I will say, give us a little more airtime. That's what Woodies in the modern age are all about, is that airtime and laterals. The laterals were very fun, and overall, this was a fun ride. It just needs to become a little more intense. I also forgot to mention how smooth this was. This was honestly a smoother ride than Verbolten. Hate me for this number 6 placement. This is my first controversial opinion. At number 6, I have Apollo's Chariot. Apollo's Chariot was the first ever B&M Hyper. Other than the first drop, first Camelback, and Fake Out Hill, this ride does very little for me. Yes, I understand that this was B&M's first ever hyper coaster, and I will say it was very smooth. The drop provided a nice floater, and I did not experience any rattle at all. The Camelback provided a nice floater in both the rows, in both front and back rows. The Fake Out Hill, which was my favorite moment on the ride, had a fun flowjector. Overall, I don't know what happened, but if this were just a little bit more forceful and the tiniest bit more intense, I would rank this higher. But for the time being, it is not as forceful and intense as I would hope for a B&M Hyper. It was my first B&M Hyper too. But from what I hear, it's just, compared to the other B&M Hypers, it's not as good. I did ride this. I meant from what I hear from other B&M Hypers. It's not as intense. So I do think it's a fun ride, fun first hyper coaster, but I do think it needs to just become a little bit more intense. In this turnaround section that you're watching right now, I did not find very good positives. So right here's a fake out hill, by the way, the hill right before the brake run. So yeah, I don't think I can justify, for me at least, putting Apollo's Chariot at number 5. At number 5, you guys are really going to hate me for this one, but this is my first looping roller coaster ever, and one of the two roller coasters really that I attribute to getting me over my fear of roller coasters. It's Loch Ness Monster. I have said this a lot. Loch Ness Monster is the roller coaster that got me over my fear of inversions on roller coasters, and one of two roller coasters that helped me get over my fear, this and Phantom's Revenge. As stated in the past video, first coaster with inversions, this is really just a very fun ride through the woods and over the river. I love the interlocking corkscrews. It provides a cool visual for those on the pathway. I'm sad that this wasn't open whenever I was there in 2022, so I could have experienced it retract, or 2024, sorry. Whenever, so I'm sad I didn't get to experience it whenever it was retract. I literally just went on the 21st. But I still love this ride to death. It does rank inside of my top 20. This ride will always hold a special place near and dear in my heart. So, yeah, number 5, Loch Ness Monster. Yay, finally an image that actually fits onto the whole screen. Coming in at number 4, I have my first steel coaster that was not Lil Phantom, Verbolten. Verbolten is a very fun and very well-themed ride. It seemed to going through the Black Forest in Germany with a highly intense indoor section. I felt myself crying out during the helix, although it was kind of hard to tell because it was all in the dark. The special effects were all great. And the special surprise, which part of me wants to say, but I won't spoil it just in case you haven't ridden this coaster yet. The ending section was kind of rough compared to my 2017 rides, but it was still very fun overall. Still a great ride. It will also always hold a special place near and dear to me in my heart. Ooh, finally, another number that fits on the screen the whole way. Coming in at number 3, we have Griffin. Number 3 is a great roller coaster by B&M. Oh, I just had a voice crack there. And this is one of my favorite rides of its type, Griffin. This ride was a very fun and surprisingly smooth ride for a dive coaster. The drop provided great airtime, and the inversions provided some fun hang time. Other than the inversions and the drop, though, the ride is just kind of there and lacking. It is a dive coaster, so it is kind of a one-trick pony, but I wish this were just a tiny bit more forceful, and it would be cool if the splashdown actually got you wet. I know it's actually a form of braking, if you did not know that. That's why older dive coasters like this and SheiKra had those splashdowns, is as a form of braking before the final break, so they would not go in too hot. But I wish that this just were a tiny bit more forceful. Like I said, that drop right there is a great first drop. I don't know if I like that first drop or Valraven's first drop more. I do like this ride better than Valraven, though, because it provides better hang time. But yeah, like I said, I wish that this were just a tiny bit more forceful, and that would just push it up a little bit more. And we're back to numbers not fully fitting on the screen. Oh well. Number 2, we have Alpengeist. Number 2, like the last one, is a great coaster by B&M, and it's also my favorite coaster of its type. Alpengeist has a very snappy cobra roll, especially in the back row. All of the elements are very forceful, and this ride was a lot longer than I was expecting. And this ride is very intense up until the end. Shout out to my friend Max for liking it more than Montu at Busch Gardens Tampa. I've heard people complain about the mid-course brake run or the rattle, but I honestly didn't mind either. Yes, the mid-course hit hard, but the ride still tore through the second half of its layout. This ride just absolutely tore through the entire layout, and I was impressed with the pacing, speed, and intensity. Overall, this, as you will see in my at the end of the year, my top 20 overall coasters. This ranks number 8 or 9. Spoiler alert. Overall, great ride. Yes, it is my number 8 at the current moment. I did just check. And honestly, I can't see how people can complain about this. Great theming, great color scheme, great ride in general. Also, very smooth. Like, after like 2 back-to-back rides without even getting off and just staying in the train, you can notice a little bit of a rattle, but the first time through, you don't really notice a rattle. Coming in at number 1, we have the king of Busch Gardens. Finally, we have Pantheon. Okay, so I'm going to rant about this coaster a little bit because it is such a great ride. I had 16 total rides on this, the most of any coaster in this park. Most of them were in the front or back, and this ride just kept getting faster and faster throughout the day. It just didn't let up. My only complaint is the length. The ejector hill in the middle of the launch pulled negative 0.85 Gs going backwards and negative 0.87 Gs going forward. Even the elements that are supposed to be filler, such as the outer banks that are on screen right now, the first inversion was filled with great hang time. The top hat has great air time going down in the back row, and the pullouts are great. Uh, I've noticed I'm grading a lot, but this is such a good ride. The stall provides a great moment of hang time, and the stangle dive into the brakes provides so many crazy lateral air time. They're not so many, but like such a crazy lateral airtime moment. It's just honestly modernize Maverick and combine it with Velocicoaster and put a little bit of icebreaker in it, and that's how you get this ride. Such a good ride. Honestly, an intimate masterpiece. If you took away Velocicoaster's theming, I would prefer this ride over Velocicoaster any day of the week. Anyways, thank you for watching today's video. Shout out to Airtime Thrills, El Toro Ryan, Coaster Habit, Coaster Studios, Coaster Crusader, and Coaster Force for letting me borrow some footage for this video. I hope you enjoyed your ride, and like always, have a great day here at Kennywood Park.